Do you like women's sports? Sports across the gender spectrum? How about you're sick of men's sports? Well, that's what we're here to talk about.
On this show, we work to level the sports coverage across the gender spectrum.
Welcome to Balanced Sports.
I'm Hunter.
I'm Jules.
Let's get into it.
Welcome back to Balanced Sports. I'm Jules.
I'm Hunter.
Today's the day.
It's the Balort Day. We made it a whole season.
A whole WNBA season. Look at us.
As we go on, we remember.
And to celebrate, this is the only time we're going to say it, the Balorts are the Balanced Sports Awards.
As you knew in August.
So this is our first annual award where we'll be handing out awards that y'all voted on.
Yeah, and it's cute that we lean in with the WNBA and we do their awards like MVP and Sixth Woman of the Year. That
y'all
shit's
saw that
stupid.
one.
Y'all could lean into ours and call our phones. Questions such as best dressed, most entertaining, most likely to break ankles. The WNBA would love an award called Best Basketball Expression of Face. I'm convinced. Who doesn't love that name?
Who doesn't?
I couldn't even say it correctly.
What are some best moments that we've had?
Oh, okay. Yeah, forget the league. Well, it's been amazing to get all the swag.
I love free shit. Seriously though. Okay, so what have been some of your favorite moments from this year?
This is a huge pat on the back. Go with me as we go on this journey.
Okay, happy to
Where
get on
we're
the
going to
ride.
end up is yesterday I was like, we've been a part of this WNBA season. Like, I've always been a huge fan of women's basketball, of women's sports, and I feel like we started out this show at the beginning of the year because we couldn't find videos about women's basketball, and I have had a ton of fun. I never would have thought I got to interview Sue Bird on her final season. I never thought I would be like part of conversations getting to talk about should Asia or Stewie with them be the MVP. I mean, I've just had a lot of moments this year where it's like, I cannot believe we're doing this. And back here, the whole thing has been a little bit of pinch me.
Oh, for sure. For sure. Prior to this season, I had never been to a WNBA game. And so when we moved out here to the West Coast, I was just like, oh, I just want to go to a game. Like times 15 or so, like getting to talk to Sue Bird, definite highlight. I don't like to go back to that moment a whole lot because it's a little bit unnerving. I was just like, the first time I spoke with her. No, actually it was the interview.
Like when she, we weren't prepared for Sue.
Yes, that one. But the courtside interview was definitely a highlight of like, wow, she's just like really opening up and like, wow, this like incredible athlete is standing right in front of us and just like sharing, and wow, it was just like a really, really, really cool moment.
What are some other moments for you? What is something else that...
The DT interview, getting so close, and she was so personable. That was been really fun. Getting access to practice, honestly, just like being in the inside. There are times when it was like, oh, don't film this. So it felt like, oh, this is really important shit that I couldn't film. But yeah, so that's been really cool. I think honestly, the first time that one of the coaches or players like said my name, it was like, oh, you know who I am?
We're reporters.
That was really cool and felt a little like, special, made me feel a little special.
Who is, you said the Diana Taurasi, but who has been one of the best like sit down interviews or best like conversations you've had? What is one that you're going to remember from this season?
Ezzy was like my first time really sitting down with a professional athlete, and so that one's really special for me. And then the Gabby one was a little bit longer, and the second one just allowed for more time. I had more preparation. I had done a little bit more research, and so that one I felt like, oh, I'm real. I'm a real reporter. What about you?
Cool. I can't wait to see the Gabby one. I was gonna say, I will remember forever the video and your viral moment of Asia Wilson saying her stuff. That was really cool. Yeah. And we got to talk with some of the other teams. Becky Hammond was really great to talk with. In a similar way, of just like, it was more intimate one-on-one when Stewie Shue got announced that they were going to do the Stewie night on the Brian January night on the Lauren Jackson night. just talking with Stewie, it was so fast and kind of in passing, but just wanted to get her thoughts on that. And yeah, it was a moment where I was like, we were much closer than this. She walked like right up to me. I was like, I love you're not giving me any personal space, to be honest. Always invade me. It's too much.
Keeping it.
But it was just really neat. I felt like I was just like chatting with a friend, like, and why do you like your shoes? And she was like, it's really important to me, blah, blah. And yeah, just moments like that where you're like, I'm just sitting here having a conversation with this athlete.
Yeah,
it's the best.
Do you think of WNBA players as celebrities?
Yeah, not all of them. I think most of them in my mind are like a basketball player, and then some are celebrities. Sue does both. Skylar Diggins-Smith is a celebrity and a basketball player. I don't know if people necessarily think of a lot of other players in that line.
Do you?
Some. Like Stewie is, I would say she's a superstar and a great basketball player, but when you meet her, there's not like, I love Sue, but she has an air about her that you need to check yourself and you need to be in the right space if you're going to ask Sue a question.
Yeah.
Stewie could just be like, I knew what you meant. That question sucked, but I'll work. I'll got you.
Who's been your worst interview? No, I'm just kidding. We'll keep it
Tina.
positive. Hands down.
Just some people, or it was a good moment to be like, oh, not everyone wants their story told and not everyone wants it done in a public manner. Like she was really reserved. I would ask a question that was maybe a little bit more invasive. But just as a basketball fan and someone reports about basketball, I felt like if you wrote a story about Tina, you kind of need to include all that stuff, right? And so just asking those questions, and she didn't want to talk about it. And there's nothing wrong with that, but it was a good learning moment to be like, ooh, I thought I was going to come out of here with like a full Tina profile. And she said no. So that was my worst. I just thought I was going to have a beautiful, huge, colorful story, and I deleted the video as soon as I left.
Like, this is trash.
Yeah, garbage. Thank you so much for your time, Tina.
Yeah. Okay, so I had a bad interview. When I reflect, I'd like to think that I could have asked the question better. And so I got the opportunity to ask another athlete, and I think I did a better job of it was pride related, and I don't think the person that I asked was particularly comfortable. Maybe they're not gay. I don't know their sexuality, but I still think you could have answered that a little bit better, but it wasn't a great question and it wasn't a great answer. And therefore I was like, okay, this is a learning opportunity. I'll do it better next time.
Definitely. We have gotten, I would say, a lot better at workshopping the questions, and, we've grown in a lot of different areas this year.
Mm-hmm. Good stuff. Shall we move into the awards?
Let's get to the Balorts.
You nominated 4 people for Best Dressed. And the nominations are Skylar Diggins-Smith,
Dejanay Carrington,
Sue Bird,
and Derica Hamby. And the winner is Skylar Diggins-Smith for Best Dressed. How do you feel about this award? Is that accurate? Is that who's supposed to win?
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Puma, she got that, what was it, the desert something? That was a part of it.
Oh, okay. I don't think I realized that. It was a whole
thing.
Okay,
if you go to her, I somehow got on the Instagram one time. Mm-hmm.
Welcome back.
Welcome back. And she was crushing it. She looks fly at the beginning of every game. Absolutely. She was doing this like layered thing this season. The color palette she was wearing, hair slick for the gods. Don't know where she's at right now. But Skylar, since you may not be with your team during the playoffs, you can wear your cute clothes wherever you want, because you are the winner of the Best Dressed.
Congratulations. Congratulations.
Okay, for our second award, most likely to be slept on. Didn't know where I was going with it.
did. I was like, what?
I had no idea what the award was going to be. The runners up for most likely to be slept on, Katie Lou Samuelson.
Okay.
No. Kelsey Mitchell. That was a good one.
Yes, that's a great one.
That was a good one. And Gabby Williams.
Yes.
2 of those 3, y'all had it. The other one, she's still sleeping. Still sleeping home. The winner of the Balort for most likely to be slept on, Natasha Cloud.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Okay.
She had the most votes. Are you shocked? Are you surprised?
I am. I liked how you did that with the nominations and the actual winner. I thought the nominee was going to come from that.
Oh, no, it wasn't.
So you
it really wasn't. It was someone else. They all were tied.
Okay.
For like they all had the same votes as runner-up. Natasha Cloud had quite a bit more.
Gotcha. Okay. She wasn't an all-star.
I'm almost positive she led the league in assists this year. She wasn't an all-star.
Okay.
She hasn't been on the... I've not seen her listed on a lot of the prognostications for all WNBA teams.
Come on, big
maybe
word.
I've seen her. Okay, someone's been reading lately. Maybe she'll make one of the odd defensive teams.
Okay, all right. Yeah.
Shock. Your initial shock.
My initial shock. Because I don't sleep on her. And I think that's why. It was just like, what are you talking about? But y'all right. Like, absolutely. They, not us, they be sleeping on her.
I like this because I don't feel like we sleep on her either, but I was like, maybe I should sleep less. Maybe I should be up all night because she is a great point guard. Absolutely. I do feel like we talk about the point guards of this league, Chelsea Gray, Courtney Vandersloot, and Natasha Cloud. I don't know whether it's her offenses maybe behind them, but she's incredible. I would want her on my team as a point guard.
Absolutely. Great selection. Congratulations to Natasha Cloud.
Fans, just with these great selections.
Absolutely. Y'all know hoops, okay?
Y'all know. The next one, most likely to break ankles.
Ew.
I mean, this has to go to someone that is ruthless. Talk about point guards.
Can we hear the nominations?
Most likely to break ankles. We had votes for, y'all were wildin' on this. Arike Agumbawale, Kelsey Plum, Joel Lloyd, Vandersloot, Alyssa Thomas. Whose ankles do y'all think she breaking? Whose?
I'm trying to go with y'all on that one. But
y'all crushed every other nominee, and then somebody said Alyssa Thomas. I think you misunderstood. The winner, most likely to break ankles, is the point guard herself,
point guard,
Chelsea Gray.
Yeah,
and that feels really right.
Absolutely couldn't agree more.
She was in the kitchen cooking yesterday against the Storm. We had no answer. We kept putting different people on her. Gabby Williams a couple times. Gabby Williams is incredible.
Yes,
and she was staying with her. But there were still a couple times that
she got a little far away.
I was like, oh, Chelsea, girl, take it easy on him. Yeah, I was like, Gabby, slow down. You don't need to look like this.
Hold on. I juked myself out of my headphones.
I juked myself out of my headphones.
Okay, yeah. No, that Chelsea Gray. Great selection. Congratulations on your Balort.
Chelsea Gray, a Balort winner. Wow. There's so many awards going on over at the Aces franchise that I'm sure this one will be hung up in the gallery first.
I want to hear someone announce Chelsea as like the Commissioner's Cup MVP, Balort winner.
Well, they are coming to town if we play them in the second round.
If we get past Washington, we can let her know that she won a Balort, y'all.
I'm dead ass. If these people make it to Seattle in the playoffs, I will give them a physical representation.
Absolutely. We were very close to getting a Chelsea Gray interview.
Yeah.
The last time.
You know how close we were? Is that we said right there and we said, let's make her tell us no. And she said no.
We were like, Chelsea, do you have a minute? And she was like,
I said, just pack it all up. We got to go now. I can't be seen.
We're busy too. It's fine.
I was so busy. The warm up got me too, Chelsea. No, we're taking a physical representation of some kind.
Absolutely.
I can't
Stewie's
wait.
crown.
For our next award, the WNBA will be sending us a cease and desist because we've talked about workshopping a lot of things. And sometimes you just got to leave it as God intended it, Henny. So the most expressive basketball face award. Whoa, we had some great freaking nominations here. Marina Mabry.
Great selection. Very expressive.
Candace Parker.
Mm-hmm.
Skylar Diggins-Smith.
Oh, yes.
Asia Wilson.
Yeah.
All these players express themselves.
Oh, that's interesting. So it wasn't Skylar Diggins-Smith. By you telling me the nominations, it means it wasn't Skylar.
I think you're going to think this person has a pretty expressive basketball face.
Let me hear it.
Jules' favorite, Aerial Powers.
Yeah. Okay. Y'all made me give her an award. That's what that was
I think our fans watched so much and they said, we know who Jules' favorite player in the league is. Vote.
You're right. That was the perfect award to give her.
In honor of Aerial Powers, we're going to have a moment and give our expressive basketball face.
Okay.
So Aerial Powers, sitting at home for the playoffs, but you will be sitting at home with a Balort.
Hey, congratulations.
Well deserved. You've been making those faces. The Ride or Die Award is next. This one was a great nomination thrown out by You Love This Award. Tell us what qualifies as Ride or Die.
Yeah, so the ride or
Not to be
die is that
confused.
person who is sitting next to you in prison when you done something bad. Like
I can't.
you know what I'm saying? Like
In
this is
prison?
the person that you were like, you tell them, hey, this is what happened. They just ask no questions. They're there for you. You know what I'm saying?
Oh my God. I not only do I know what you're saying, it's going to make the winner of this so much better. And your nominees are Brianna Stewart, Nneka Ogwumike, Dee Dee Richards. But the winner of this award, the person that Jules will be sitting next to in prison, is Sophie Cunningham.
That's right. That y'all did.
Y'all nailed it.
Assignment understood. Like
That
yes.
literally, if you talk about ride or die and what this season has meant, that y'all crushed the assignment. Nailed it.
Truly perfection.
Why do you think Sophie Cunningham has been a great ride or die this year?
Because she's still with Phoenix. Okay,
She
Come
died
on.
for them. She's been around the whole season and her body was on the line the last game she died in.
Come on, yeah. The riding it till the wheels fall off, and then you still holding it, it's still trying to make it go. Yeah.
I like
Sophie's
this.
that girl. Sophie is that girl.
I like Sophie Cunningham for this award. I have a friend that is Diana Taurasi's biggest stan, and she has told me since these two have been on the same team that Diana Taurasi has always, she's used the word needed, but like really thrived when she had a player like Sophie Cunningham who is just like, I'm gonna go be that dog. I'm gonna be the dirty player, and I mean that in like a way that just like Diana Taurasi comes out and like shoots, and she's not known to be scrappy, but she pairs along nicely with someone like this. And yes, it does just seem like Sophie be riding or dying.
Yep, they
Great.
do seem like that.
Great. Pivotal award right here. Most entertaining.
Ooh.
Broad. How would you, this is a bit of more broad award. How would you quantify the most entertaining award?
Jeez, you can go a couple different ways. You can go on the court, so that's providing a little extra oomph, after you score or after you do a block. That's the person throwing up their hands, getting the fans involved. That's also off the court antics. So you could go a number of ways. I'm interested to see who they nominated.
Nominations. Let's give them a thumbs up or a thumbs down for entertainments.
Okay.
Just as we're doing the nominations.
Okay.
Liz Cambage. Entertainment. Brianna Stewart.
Yeah.
Sydney Colson.
Yes.
That you were talking about getting
Off
the fan.
field. Yeah.
And then a final nominee, Kalia Copper.
Yes. Okay.
Now, the
Great.
winner of the most entertaining, you are going to love this. You guys voted for the Las Vegas Aces team as the most entertaining.
Great. That's y'all smart. Y'all are smart. Absolutely.
They
Yes.
single-handedly, I feel like,
Yes.
started a TikTok trend.
Yeah.
this
Or at least
year.
they didn't start it, but they were on it, and I love that. I
They
love it. They're relevant.
Did it.
Yes. Very entertaining. I laughed a lot watching TikToks on Instagram from the players, from
Yes.
the Las Vegas Aces players. Yeah.
They're so great at social media. They all signed contract extensions, so we should get a show. We should
Run
get
it
a Hard
back.
Knocks.
Yes, absolutely. We'll pitch it. We'll like, Kathy, we'll workshop it.
We'll workshop it. Okay, finally. It's the Best Friends Award.
The best friends
They're
ever.
my best friends.
Okay.
I think we have a good idea of who this is going to be before we even get to our nominee.
I'm going to tell you right now. I think that they selected, it's hard. It's a toss up between two pairings. I'm thinking for best friends.
Okay.
Sue and DT or Sue and Stewie.
Whoa, you crushed it.
Yeah.
And the winner of the Best Friends is Sue and Diana.
Congratulations.
Y'all need to retire so we can get new people with the award. I'm just
He
kidding.
said,
We will actually have a new winner of this award next year. Sue's no longer in the league, therefore she can't qualify. I'm just kidding. We don't have any rules for this show.
it's Lauren Jackson.
So Diana and Sue, we saw a lot of them this year. There's always a lot of content out about them because people just are obsessed with them.
They are, and they have a true friendship that they have shared with us. And so, yeah, I mean, I think I've shared before. I did watch that 4-hour live stream that they did. I watched it over several days. They're an entertaining group of friends. Just hearing them share their old stories, like, I get it.
I was gonna say, I think that's what makes it so much more entertaining. It's not just all the like color and life that they add to the WNBA like stories and friendship they have. They can go all the way back to UConn. I know that they were great in their like earlier prep days. I don't know if they were friends before UConn, but they've also obviously both set records and been with USA basketball forever.
5 Olympic rings together. No one else has done that.
Yeah, and Sue talked a lot about just like, we feel like there's a way to play the game. And I just always respected that even when it was hard to play against Diana, like we played the right way. I knew it was going to be a good basketball game.
Yep. Who were the other nominations?
The other nominations for this award were Stewie and
Susie.
Thank you. Benai Delaney and Dee Dee Richards. Somebody, y'all had jokes, put Skylar Diggins-Smith and Diana. And then they put a wink face afterwards because y'all knew y'all was being funny. Whoever that was.
We appreciate you and we feel seen.
Thank you. Thank you so much for understanding. I think you guys crushed the awards, to be honest.
Truly. You are the ultimate Balort winner.
You are the real winners here. Okay, well, while we're talking about the Balorts, we're just going to do a full season recap.
Yeah. Let's move out of the Balorts and into the playoff conversation. Let's wrap up. We are done with the regular season of the 2022 WNBA. Wow.
It just feels like it went by so fast. I was obviously looking back over the awards and everything this morning and all over all of our shows. And to think from the draft to this now, man, what a season. It's been so fun.
It's been a lot of fun. And thank you all for coming along on the journey with us. So in looking back, you looked at an episode in June where we, the playoff race was like, ooh, who's going to make it? Let's talk about how we did in predicting the playoffs.
Yeah, so we actually, the final 3 seeds were really close between 6 teams, but what we did is went and filled out who we thought the seeds would be 1 through 8. Mm-hmm. So Jules really crushed it, honestly. You had the Aces at the 1 seed, which they clinched yesterday. Yeah. Chicago at 2, Seattle at 3, Connecticut at the 4 seed, Mystics at 5, Dallas at 6, New York at 7, and Minnesota at 8.
Not too bad. Minnesota really failed me there.
Minnesota really did. All they needed to win was like a single game out of their last 2 or 3, like one. And they didn't, but who could have predicted that race for New York to come back from what they did? At one point, it was just like, it's them in Indiana. They're the first teams out.
Seriously, looking back at this graphic, I'm like, I can't believe I selected New York. Like, I'm still shocked. What was I thinking? And somehow it worked.
You were thinking that you were right. I had Chicago at the 1 seed. I thought Seattle was going to make a run and go to number 2. They didn't. I had the Aces at 3. I had Connecticut at 4. The Mystics at 5. Me thought that Atlanta was going to get 6. Dallas at 7. And the Minnesota Lynx at...
Minnesota again. Failing us.
Failing Sylvia.
Let's talk about it. So, this last weekend here, Curt Miller... doing a great job of coaching, got his starters off the court because they were winning, right? They got a nice cushion.
There was nothing on the line for them. There was a lot of games being played yesterday where it was
seeding.
Like...
Did you do...
Seeding, will they make the playoffs?
Clinching,
Connecticut was just chilling.
Yeah.
They had nothing.
It would not matter at all. The reserves, the bench production was unable to hold the lead. And so with about 4 minutes left in the game, them starters went right back on in there. What did you think about that decision?
You were coaching a basketball game to win, and I don't care that they had nothing to play for. I don't care. Like, those 3 minutes of rest was not going to change how fresh your players were going to feel coming to the game. You want to win. Like, everyone loves Syl. Everyone respects her. I don't think Sylvia would have walked over and been like, thank you for letting me get in this. Like, you don't want to do that. I don't even think as an all-time great, you would feel wonderful about making the playoffs. Basically just being like walked into it. I'm not mad at Curt Miller for putting in his team to win a game. That's what you're supposed to do. Minnesota should play better.
You said it perfectly. You said it absolutely perfectly. Your job is to win. So if you see the lead, like, he would look like a fool just to let the team lose. Like, that's not what you're supposed to be doing. So I think he made the right decision in putting the starters back. It's just unfortunate that was the case. I mean...
Yeah,
we all would love to see Syl make a last run, just as, Sue's making her last run in her retirement as well. And so it was just unfortunate. But I don't blame him for making that decision. It was the right decision. You're supposed to try and win the game.
Yeah, not mad at Curt Miller at all. It sucked to see Sylvia. It felt like that whole game, I'm not going to say pressing. She had a great game, but just like she clearly wanted to win. Like that team wanted to win. They just didn't. They didn't have it. They were, I just looked this up. The Minnesota Lynx in their last 10 games were 4 and 6th. But these other two teams that were playing for a spot, the Atlanta Dream were 2-8.
Yeah.
They had a chance to make the playoffs yesterday. They were 2-8 their last 10 games. You just got to think, not having it. Yesterday, the Storm took on the Aces in a game that clinched the number 1 seed for the Aces. We were already at the 4 seed sewed up, but this had a lot of MVP implications on the line. You already had selected Asia Wilson. Did it cement that in your mind? Did anything change after yesterday's game? Is one game not a factor for an MVP race?
No. False. I think every game is a factor in an MVP race. And I think the last opportunity to see them, I think Asia just put a nice little dot on the I. It was like cross on the T, dot on the I. A bow on the present that is the MVP statue. God damn, could I get this out?
MVP award?
Thank you. Sunday afternoon, Asia cemented the vote. Well, gosh, what if they already voted?
Yesterday was the last day to vote. This was my thought too. If I don't know why, maybe because you have other obligations, family obligations, other work. I don't know why if you're a voter and you saw that the 2 MVP candidates are going to be playing on the last day of the season,
wouldn't have waited.
You wouldn't have just waited. So some people might have, and we don't know their life stories. But
sure.
I think if you waited, it felt clear after watching that game who the MVP was.
Asia Wilson, congratulations. We can't break that, but breaking news
But
here.
Call Kathy.
Yeah, so for me, it showed what I already know. What about you?
Yeah, I had voted for Stewie right here, right now on this show. And I agree with what you said. Every game is it helps you get a better picture of who the MVP should be. This game being the last one, cemented it for me. It just felt like, I needed that game to know that it was Asia. It looked a lot more effortless. I do think that her team is better, but the Aces are a better team because Asia's on it. It cemented it in my mind. Asia should win that award. And I asked some other people yesterday at Winsider. They pointed out to me I'm being too nice.
Hunter too nice? That's never happened.
I know. I was just like, how are you guys figuring, if you had a vote for MVP and defensive MVP, would you give it to one and then give the other award to the other? Or do you think that both players are both? And my argument was just it feels like splitting hairs for either award. And in my mind, whoever I'm going to give the MVP to, it's this. And they're like, yeah, if you feel like it is splitting hairs, then, but they were like, these awards are not mutually exclusive. You should win both if you have the right stats and qualifiers for it. Right. I just don't know how I would decide. Well, I would decide Asia for the MVP now. That's what I would decide.
That's pretty surprising. You were Stewie for weeks now, and you feel like this game really turned it.
Well, so some of the stats I was hanging my hat on for Stewie were not good in this game yesterday. Her efficiency was high. Her 3-point percentage was high for the season. And again, I hate to be this one game, but a lot was on the line for this one game, to be honest. It felt like both of them going in. Well, Aces could have clinched the 1 seed, so they were playing for something, but the Storm had the 4 seed. It felt like going into this game, they knew what was on the line was an MVP, perhaps. Stewie was playing really hard, and I feel like Asia was just we're a good team, and I'm going to let that... Holly asked her point blank. Did you watch the end of the...
I did.
And Holly was like, why are you the MVP? What would be your word for her response?
Diplomatic. She didn't answer it. I didn't feel like she answered it of here's why, because you shouldn't have to do that.
That's exactly.
So that's what I mean.
I'm trying to think of one word to surmise it, but when Holly asked her that, it felt like she was just I shouldn't have to explain this to y'all. Did you see the score? Did you see my game? And so I feel like she was just man, look, that's between y'all vote on this. I show up here and I win teams with my game. I win games with my team. We just did that tonight. So if y'all want to vote me MVP, the numbers are up there. And I kind of did that thing.
Yeah.
Very diplomatic.
Why should you be MVP? These numbers right here. That's what she said.
She just, not bothered again. It was really diplomatic. I just feel like she was I shouldn't have to tell you at this point. I am.
Look, Halls.
Don't call my phone.
Yeah, okay. Let's review our pick'ems. We're done picking. Well, we're going to make playoff predictions. So let's do our regular season prediction recap.
I'm giving you an appreciation sandwich right here. I'm going to start off with good. You crushed it. Almost every week, I think you had positive records.
Hey.
The negative is this was one of your worst weeks. And you were 11-7.
Cut the cameras.
You see the sandwich. And now to top it off, good, bad, good. You've got an overall record of 98-51. Congratulations.
Wow. Almost broke 100. Come on now.
I know. I was like 2 more games. And I know there was a week we'd missed. So well, think about this. You're 90-51 if we don't add the 3 points you've received from the Commissioner's Cup. So you're technically 101-51.
Wow.
You broke the century mark. I don't have those 3 points. I was 15-3 this last week, which was a great record because I needed to storm back.
Yeah.
Storm back. And I still lost. So you're, besides the 3 points, you were 98-51. I was 94. So 4 games behind you. Not terrible.
Really great.
For
Hey.
150, 140 games that we've prognosticated, my big word of the day, that we predicted.
That's really great. Look at us.
I think that's pretty solid.
And just very quickly, fantasy happened 101. Moving on to...
There's a technicality in the fantasy.
There is a big old technicality. Let me explain to y'all what happened, okay? The finals for the playoffs went a week and a half, or went 2 weeks. I didn't know that.
So did the round before it, that you willingly played, and you ain't saying nothing about it over here now?
Anyway, so last week, I made a mistake, people. I made a mistake, and I left Emma Mieseman off of my fantasy roster in the morning. I forgot to reset things. That resulted in me losing about 96 points. So technically, I lost by 96 points, and Hunter is the winner of our fantasy. Congratulations.
So one could say that I was the executive of the year as the manager, and you were like the coach, because you coach your team and you would have gotten the most points, but executive of the year.
Moving on to playoff predictions.
Okay, let's get into it. We are going to begin with Las Vegas versus Phoenix. Who you got?
I have Las Vegas in 2.
Same. I'm not even going to expand. Do we need to?
Y'all don't need it.
We have the 2 versus the 7 seed, Chicago versus New York Liberty.
Chicago in 3.
I'm taking Chicago in 2 in this one. But New York's been playing better. The 3 and 6 matchup will be Connecticut versus Dallas.
I'm going to say Connecticut in 2.
Connecticut in 3 for me on this one. And then Seattle versus Washington, the 4 and 5. Golly.
Okay. I really want... I really, really want the Storm. And I believe that the Storm are capable of getting out of the first round.
However,
Seattle Storm in 3.
I have Seattle in 2. I think we win the first 2 at home. I think they're really tight. And I think I picked that to ease my heart, because if we go to Washington for game 3, we don't know how to feel. If Washington steals one here at home, I'm going to be a mess.
It's going to be really, 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 really hard.
It is. Speaking of things that are hard, now we pick the same team. So we would do the second round. You would have the 1 versus a 4, Las Vegas versus Seattle. These are best of 5. The first round was all best of 3. So best of 5 series, Vegas and Seattle.
Vegas in 4.
Okay, I was about to say the format is the first 2 games will be at the higher seed, and then the next 2 games will be at the lower seed. The final and deciding game 5, if necessary, would be at the top seed.
Yeah.
I'm going to go with Vegas in 4.
Yeah.
Gosh, I just think we match up really bad against them. I think if there was one team that we did not want to get the 1 seed when we were the 4, I would have rather Connecticut. I would have rather Chicago. We do not match up well, I think, with Vegas.
We've only beat them 1 time this year. Like, they got our number.
They do. Dang, okay. Seattle Storm, you heard it here first.
We really hope we're wrong, just to be clear.
We want to
be so wrong.
Did y'all watch that game yesterday? You don't know. Next, we would have Connecticut versus Chicago.
It's a great matchup.
Golly, so good.
Who's hosting?
Chicago would be hosting.
That's going to 5. That's going to 5.
I know, and I just keep thinking that the last 3 or 4 years, Connecticut has been right there. Like, they're so hungry. They want it so bad. It's not going to be this year. I take Chicago in 3.
I literally, as you started talking, it was like, they're so close. And I was like, but they got Azare. But literally, I was like, but they bench is led by Azare Stevens.
Yeah, maybe not 3. I could see this going 4 or 5 games. So I'm going to take Chicago.
You can take Chicago in what?
I'm going to take Chicago in 4.
I'm going to take Chicago in 5.
Okay, in both of our matchups, wow, we have the Las Vegas Aces versus the Chicago Sky. This feels like it's been the best 2 teams by kind of far and away all season. It may not be this once it gets there. Who would you take? who are you going to select as your 2022 WNBA champion?
I am going to say the Las Vegas Aces in 4.
Wow. Can you give us some deciding factors? Remember, Derek, may not be back by this point.
I am aware. I feel like exactly what happened is like the Las Vegas Aces snuck in there right there at the end and clinched the top seed. And I think they're going to keep fighting and sneak in there and take this whole thing. And when we look back, it's like, no, it's not going to be shocking. Look at what they did all year. And so y'all know I'm never not betting on the Aces. So that's what it is for me.
This is the first time I'm going to differ from you. I'm going to go with Chicago as the winners again.
You goddamn Candace Stan.
I know. I can't stand. I'm like, if she won this, would she retire? I hope not. I hope we get a full season like we have, knowing she's going to retire.
Celebrating
like Sue and Sylvia. I keep going back to how deep that bench, the whole team is for Chicago. Yeah, and I keep thinking, like anything can happen over the playoffs. Like people could get injured at any time, any day. But I keep thinking I really feel confident seeing everyone that's on Chicago's team in the playoffs. Like let's say a couple of these rounds go to the deciding games, 3 games, 5 games. I just like Chicago's ability at the end of the year to be a little bit more fresh.
Oh, yeah.
And I think that they bring in a really incredible bench. There's not much drop off when they bring in bench players.
I completely agree.
But on Vegas's hand, they don't play the bench. So
who is they? I don't know them girls.
So do I take good bench players for Chicago or Asia for 40 minutes? I don't know. It's a toss-up.
It's going to be a very, very exciting playoffs. Who do you guys think are going to be the 2022 WNBA champion? Leave it in the comments. We can't wait to hear from y'all.
Thanks for watching. For Balanced Sports, I'm Hunter.
And I'm Jules.